Welcome to the Tiger's Den. This is the voice of Cheryl, and I am Toothless Tiger. As we embark upon this 3-day weekend, I would ask you to reflect on what the true meaning of Memorial Day means. For some, you have veterans in your family. For others, you are veterans. Whatever the case, I want to remind you of a phrase. The meaning of Memorial Day freedom is never free. The phrase freedom isn't free is a familiar saying, reminding Americans that defending freedom comes with a steep cost to many who pledge their lives in defense of liberty. Referring to Memorial Day as a holiday diminishes its solemnity. I want to talk about a group of soldiers that I knew nothing about until recently. They are the Corps of Colonial Marines. For enslaved people, successful escape to the British brought freedom. When the British arrived in Chesapeake Bay in 1813, enslaved people began escaping by rowing out to British boats, usually in the night. But such attempts were relatively small until the spring of 1814, when Vice Admiral Alexander Cochrane issued a proclamation on April 2nd, offering Americans, but intended to mean enslaved individuals, to join the British land or sea services, or to move as free settlers to British possessions in North America or the West Indies. The British understood that runaway enslaved individuals would help to weaken the American economy that was in part dependent on the labor-intensive cash crop, tobacco. American plantation owners became weary of slave rebellions. Even Great Britain feared that rebellion could spread to their plantations in the West Indies. Those escaped people who chose to serve in the British military were placed in the Corps of Colonial Marines. Trained and led by British officers, the Corps participated in many raids on the Chesapeake, including the British March on Washington. Members of the Corps assisted the British in planning raids, oftentimes having first-hand knowledge of the waterways, roads, and paths. In total, about 4,000 enslaved people gained their freedom by escaping to the British military. Many were given shelter at the British base on Tangier Island. There, about 200 of the men were trained and issued arms to fight side by side with British troops as a colonial corps of Marines. After the war, Great Britain resettled the former enslaved people, mostly in the maritime provinces or in Trinidad. One community in Nova Scotia settled in what they called Africville. Descendants in Trinidad called themselves Americans. Unfortunately, little is known about the former enslaved people who escaped for their freedom. The Maryland State Archives has pulled together a database that features case studies on freedom seekers and their enslavers. The Nova Scotia Archives also features an article and list about the refugees who were resettled into the region during and following the War of 1812. Researchers at Sotterley Plantation have identified several of the 48 enslaved people who escaped in June 1814 when British ships were anchored offshore in the Patuxent River. After the war, the plantation's owner, John Rousley Platter, submitted claims for compensation, listing the names of those seduced and carried away. Records show that James Bowie was given land in Trinidad. Stephen Corsi, Jack Leo, and Louis Moreau were given parcels of land in Halifax, Nova Scotia. All were accompanied by their wives and children. I would like for us to remember those men too. We've heard a lot about his story, and when we question about our story, it's told as a mystery. I would like for you to join me on this journey. We must know who we are. It is written so that we can know who we are. Our people are destroyed for the lack of knowledge. And if we research, we will come back to the honor of our ancient mothers and fathers. Isn't it amazing? Those gentlemen ran to war for freedom's sake. Our sons, fathers, brothers, uncles, husbands volunteer for war, and we still don't know why we're fighting. It is my personal belief that there is no terrorist alive, except for the domestic one, would attempt anything on America's soil, the land that we are organic to, indigenous, aboriginal. So I ask you, as you celebrate your 3-day weekend, think about all soldiers, for there are many, and many we know nothing of. But we're learning, and we won't stop until we know our truth. It is my duty to help uplift fallen humanity, and especially my people. Will you join me to help teach our babies? After all, we say the children are our future. Let's equip them in a perfect way to live free of encumbrances, free of tyranny, free of colonial occupation, so they can live a more perfected life. Not perfection. We strive for excellence. And we can only do that by acquiring knowledge. For it is written, my people are destroyed for the lack of knowledge. Thank you for joining me. Today is Friday, May 27th. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share this video. And like the 24/7 ATM, My Cash App is always available if you choose to donate. This is Toothless Tiger, and I am getting ready to leave the tiger's den.
This video was made for education and entertainment purposes only. There's no malice or ill intent from the content creator. So please like, share, and subscribe, and have a great evening. Good night.